If you are the kind of seller who likes to explain every feature of your home during viewings, this might be something you need to hear. Now, most sellers believe that being present during a viewing helps. After all, who knows the home better than you? But sometimes, the more you try to convince a buyer, the more defensive they become. And this actually reduces your chances of selling without you even realizing it. And I only realized this after a buyer pointed something out to me after their viewing. Hi guys, I'm Gainer and I help you understand why some properties grow while others struggle, so that you know what signs to look out for before your next move. Recently, I brought a buyer to view a few resale units. And as usual, after each viewing, I would recap with them to understand what stood out, what suited them, and if they have any concerns. But during this particular round, something they mentioned made me reflect deeper. And what they shared had nothing to do with the unit itself. And it was about how the seller conducted themselves during the viewing. Take for example, in one of the units, the seller brought us to the balcony and said, "This is one of the best stacks because it is a pool-facing unit." But from where we stood, we could clearly see that right in front of us is another block. Yes, there was a small pocket view of the pool, but calling it pool-facing does not seem right. Then there's another viewing where the unit was facing the car ramp, and my buyer raised a concern about car noise to the seller, in which the seller responded that it's actually not so bad now as there are more EV cars, so it's much quieter. Now again, technically that's not wrong, but it didn't feel entirely convincing either. At the time, I didn't think so much about it, but later my buyer said something that really stuck with me. They mentioned that when sellers say things that don't feel accurate, they would become more defensive about the unit. And that made me pause. Because I always tell my sellers that you know your home better than anyone, and definitely more than me. For example, you know which corner gets the most sun, which lift in the block is faster, where is the best coffee shop nearby. But because of that deep familiarity, it's easy to fall into the trap of oversharing or overselling. And the moment a buyer feels that something is slightly exaggerated, even unintentionally, trust drops. And once trust drops, the deal becomes harder. Not because the unit is bad, but because the buyer now questions everything else that they see. Which is why I usually advise sellers not to be around during viewings. And the reason is simple. Buyers need space. They want to comment freely. They want to talk to each other. They want to raise concerns without worrying about offending the sellers. But when they are alone with me, I get honest feedback. And honest feedback allows me to address their concerns properly and objectively. And that protects the deal. Now, I'm not saying that sellers cannot present their home. But if you do, here are a few things to be careful about. First, don't oversell. Now, it's tempting, but the more you try to convince, the more defensive the buyer becomes. So instead of explaining too much, ask questions and listen. Second, don't follow buyers too closely. Give them space to explore. Let them imagine themselves living in the unit. And third, avoid sharing strong personal opinions. Phrases like, "This is the best layout," or "This facing is the most ideal," may sound persuasive to you, but may not be to the buyers. Because buyers prefer forming their own impressions, as everyone's preference is very different. Now, we have to understand that every home has its own story, and how it's told can either build trust or slowly break it. Sometimes the biggest mistake sellers make isn't about the pricing, but it can be as simple as unknowingly creating pressure during the viewing itself. So if you are planning to sell your place and thinking of presenting it yourself, I hope this gives you a helpful perspective. Because sometimes protecting the deal isn't about saying more, but it's about knowing when to say less. Once again, Gainer here, where I help you understand why some properties grow while others struggle, so that you know what signs to look out for before your next move. See you in the next video.